quite wild and well recognized how much the Muslim female body really is sort of like the battlefield.
No, I'm not worried at all. I rely on God, Allah.
You're aware of this in Quebec, the Bill 21?
Yes.
And like most, I feel most of these policies that when they try to marginalize Muslims, they always start with their sisters. Because I think, like, this bill obviously primarily affects Muslim sisters above everyone else. Because this beard hasn't been turned into a religious symbol yet, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as a mental health professional, like, what effects are you seeing with our sisters who are trying to wear hijab, and then they're almost they become like a lightning rod now, right? With a lot of these issues, like they become the focal point.
Yeah, man, subhanAllah. I mean, first of all, I should say, I want to give a shout out to many of the sisters out there. I think there's a lot of sisters who can answer this question in far more detail and eloquence than I ever could. We have a lot of, mashallah, very inspired and eloquent and intelligent sisters who have written about this. And I just want to acknowledge all their work, because any answer that I have really also comes off their backs. There's a sister, for example, a lecturer, like an assistant professor here. She was explaining how 1/3, people don't notice, but here, in terms of the cases that come up to the European court, so cases that are always taking up and up, 1/3 of all the cases, I think, within a certain time span, I can get the reference specifically, of all those cases dealt with niqab and the niqab ban. I mean, can you imagine that? Right? It's quite wild. And well recognized how much the Muslim female body really is sort of like the battlefield of like the war on immigration, the war on terror. If Muslims are going to integrate or not integrate, it's usually Muslim women who bear the brunt of that. And I think, unfortunately, brothers are slow to really appreciate the significance of that. I mean, in terms of mental health, I'll be honest with you, man. I mean, I'm surprised. SubhanAllah, there must be some kind of barakah, or there's something. There's some ayah in this. There's some miracle in this, that more sisters aren't taking off their hijab, given how bad it actually is. If you really think about it, I think we might be looking at the glass half empty when we think about it. I think there's an incredible resilience among sisters, despite not only the state telling them, a lot of sisters, they come to me for even among clients or working in the Muslim community, that, they admit that, it's not only just this law, this policy, my dad gave into it. My dad keeps telling me to take off my hijab,
Yeah.
I mean, that's something we were like, imagine how suffocating that is. SubhanAllah, I mean, I think I'll maybe just leave it at that, because I think in terms of the general impact, I think sisters have it bad, not only in terms of hijab, and I don't think we should necessarily just focus on hijab. A recent research just came out, a study in the UK discovered that among South Asian women, they were the least likely to get a job in accordance to their education. So depending on how they were educated, they were least likely to get a job in accordance to that. And there was another study a long time ago that actually also found that Muslim women here in the UK were some of the most highly educated subgroups of all communities. So, I mean, if we just take that detail, that's not necessarily about the hijab, but if you think about how Muslim women are sort of marginalized and ostracized, and they're just sort of, they're banned from so many different spaces, and then we question why they might take off the hijab, we might have a fuller understanding when we have a fuller appreciation of actually what is actually happening to them. And I think that becomes an onus on us as a community to be able to recognize the unique, very gendered ways, that what Muslim women are going through. That's really, really significant to the experiences of marginalization, to distress, etc.
Do I feel that the New York police are providing enough protection, or do I have to have protection of my own? I look for protection from Allah.